Scotland Who Cares explores the lived experiences of care workers in Scotland during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. Their stories include moments of emotional strain and strong language. Some viewers may find certain scenes upsetting. We encourage you to take breaks if needed and look after your well-being while watching. Thank you. To protect people's identities in this video, some of the participant names have been changed, or their words voiced by others, or have their images blurred. This need has also limited the number of people's stories we can show in this video. Please visit our website to read our project report, which contains more participant stories in written form. www.scotlandwhocares.org.
This is Scotland, a land of castles, lochs, and tartan clans. A land of legends and stories told by famed writers. Robert Burns, Sir Walter Scott, Muriel Spark, Val McDermott, just to name a few. But there is a hidden story here, one that is seldom told. The story of carers, black and ethnic minority heroes who live in the shadows, whose hands hold up Scotland's most vulnerable. This is their story. This is Scotland Who Cares.
In the past, people have often ignored the wonderful contribution of Black people in Scotland. But now, all of that is changing. So if you're a Black carer in Scotland, come and tell us your story.
Telling this story was not easy. For many carers, speaking out meant risk. There was fear of being judged, fear of losing their work, and fear of being targeted for simply raising their head above the crowd. At first, carers were scared to come forward, but we persevered. Step by step, trust was built. And slowly, voices emerged from Edinburgh and the Borders, from Aberdeen and Inverness, from Glasgow and beyond. Brave carers have come forward to share their truth. They had a need to be heard, and somewhere, somehow, they found the courage to speak out.
Hi everyone, my name's Nandi. I'm an actress and personal trainer, and I've worked with Neil on various different projects over the years. So today we're just going to be very informal, having some conversations, having some chats about you guys sort of working in the care industry and your experiences with that.
I have been in Scotland myself now 35 odd years, I think, and I have a brother who works in the care sector. He was very involved with providing care during COVID, and invariably he contracted COVID and brought it home with himself. So then the whole family caught it from him. And I think really the project starts from that personal experience that I went through, and through my brother we all went through. And having been here for 35 years, I recognize that not many stories about Black people in Scotland exist. Very few exploits of black and ethnic minority life gets recorded in Scotland. And here was this major pandemic, this major incident in the life of this country, and a lot of the people in the front line were black and ethnic minority people who, like my brother, were taking the risk on a daily basis, helping those people who were in need. And I had the sense that 50 years from now, ain't nobody gonna remember you guys. Ain't nobody gonna remember the sacrifice that you yourselves, put in, and most, deeply, like my brother, you brought in, when you came home, the families were there. So whatever you might have, been going through could have been spread to the family. So we were all, as a community, I think, quite exposed. This is such an important moment that we have to record it in some way. When Scotland needed black people, we were there, we were counted, and we were in the front lines. So that was what inspired the project. We then approached Heritage Lottery and said, look, I think it was during Black Lives Matter, so our timing was really good. So when we said, could we record the contributions of black and ethnic minority people, they were like, yeah, great, so we'll support you to do that. When we began recruiting, a tide of opposition arose on social media. Some have called us racist. Too often, black stories are met with dismissal or threats. We do honor all carers, but in this project, we have chosen to celebrate our community's service. Black voices should not be muted or silenced. They too must be heard.
We're blowing up! So what does that mean?
And a lot of it was people who did not understand why we wanted to celebrate black and ethnic minority carers, why it was important for us to point out that particular sector of the community. A lot of it was quite hateful. A lot of the comments were very, very, I was like, whoa! And a lot of people were very exercised about it, about, white folks as well were part of this, they also were in the front lines, what about them? This is divisive, this is splitting people apart. And it was a very, very strong reaction to us putting the video there. And I was just reminded about that this morning, and I wanted to address that, because I think it's almost like the elephant in the room, because that is what the general public out there felt. And I think it's very important for me to address that thing. I would say that a lot of the comments were about we're not acknowledging or recognizing white contribution. And I think that's a fair comment, but I don't think that celebrating women means that you're against men. And most importantly, it became quite clear to me that in the history of Scotland, black people have been in Scotland and doing things here for a very, very long time. The first record of black people that we know of is in James IV's time, in 1480. Black people were quite prominent in Scotland, but Scottish people won't know that. But it's very sporadic, the recording of black voices. And it just hit me that when black people want to speak, we are shut down. More than anything, when we want to say something about our experiences, about our lives, we are told, you're becoming too big for your boots. Shut up. Don't say nothing. Don't speak. Don't say anything. And because of that, our history is never recorded. our voices are muted, you know, and it's always, the criticism sounds fair seeming. You know, people don't just say to you, oh, shut up because you're black. Shut up because you're not powerful. Shut up because whatever. They come at you with fair seeming reasonableness. Oh, you shouldn't say anything. You shouldn't stand up and tell us about your experiences. We all have experiences. So your experience is really that, you know, it's just another experience. No, it's not. You and I know it's not. Our reality is not the reality of everyday individual. I know, I'm in the theatre. I've been in the theatre space in Scotland for a very long time. I go into rooms where I'm normally the only black person there, and I'll say something clever. I've got a lot to say that's clever, I'll have you know. But the room will just not hear me. And then 2 minutes later, somebody will echo exactly what I just said. Oh yes, what a wonderful, wow, what a clever thought that is. Didn't I just say that 2 minutes ago? So you can't tell me that my experience is the same as yours. I'm very invisible in these rooms. So you find that in Scotland, nobody's racist to your face. Nobody is going to come and say something nasty to you. But if you want to then talk about what you've been through, what your experience of this country is, you're going to be gently shut down. People will give you very reasonable sounding stuff. Oh, no, you shouldn't. And the sum and total of all of that is that we are nowhere in the history of this country. We are not seen, we are not heard. So for me, those reactions were that visceral reaction of people who don't want to hear black people, who don't want to see us, who don't want to acknowledge the good that we do. But hey, if something goes wrong, if there's something that is negative, maybe some young kid has done something wrong, it's in all the papers. They're all there. Hey, tell us, who stabbed you? Hey, tell us, what is happening? So when it's negative, they blow it up. It's in every single media, it's on the television, you know, young black people stabbing each other, or whatever it might be, drugs or whatever. So then this stereotype of black people being problematic, you know, is then perpetuated. Those are the stories that get to be told. When we say, here's some positive, here's a story that is affirming about what our community does, here's some serious risks that we took for the well-being of this country. Nah, you can't say nothing about that part. Shut up. Be quiet. So our positive stories are never told. And for me, what you guys did, having witnessed it through my brother's effort, I mean, he was up at 5 o'clock. I mean, you know, in the winter, he's up and down, gets the first bus, gets the last bus going home. Freezing every day, but yet, where was the PPE? It wasn't there.
Afrika dan kujai, Afrika dan kujai, Afrika nyon dan kujai, wow dan kujai.
Yeah, he didn't have that support when he needed it. We all got COVID. And by the grace of God, nobody died in my family. So these are the stories that I want Scotland to know. And don't shut me up, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you about it. I'm not going to be silenced, I'm not going to be afraid. A lot of people that we invited today were very afraid to come here. So I must really thank you guys for having the courage to be here. It's not easy to be here and say, I'm going to tell you what my experience of my work is like. Nobody wants to speak up. I know, my brother tells me the horrors. Every day he comes back. And do you know what? I've had to stop that man from reaching for the bloody bottle of whiskey every night because of the experiences he's had during the day.
This one too. You want more?
That's the reality. People are scared to say what they're seeing, what is happening out there. And yet every day you've got to buck up the courage, get dressed, put a smile on, and go out there and help people. And yet when you want to talk about it, you're told, no. Don't say nothing. Don't be nothing. You don't have to highlight your experiences above anybody else's experience. That's what black people have been told since time immemorial. That has to end. And if we don't do it ourselves, if we ourselves don't tell our stories, who will? It's not us that are in charge of our own narrative. It's not us that are in charge of our own stories. So I am really very grateful to you guys for having the courage to come here today. I know how difficult it is. I'm risking my job if I speak. You know, you all put up your hands and you said, yeah, I'll get up in the morning, I'll take the risk. And our government was very slow in giving the right protective equipment. They were very slow. Where our community stood up, helped this country, it cannot go quietly into that night. It cannot be silent and not spoken about. I want the generation after this to know that when the proverbial hit the fan, we were there to help this country through that difficult moment. So I do thank everybody for taking the time to come here and to tell us your story. We want truth to shine out. We want the world to know the wonderful and the difficult job that you guys do and the sacrifice that you have given. That's what we want people to know.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria and I'm a carer.
Hi everyone, my name is Susan and I'm a carer.
Hi, good morning everybody. My name is Chacha and I'm from the Philippines, the only one in here, but I am very proud of representing my country to be here, and I'm a nurse.
Hi, my name is Benita and I work in justice, but I've done care work for the past 5-6 years.
Most carers are not used to public speaking, so we had to provide some training to help them tell us their story in the best way possible.
But most people sort of, when they see a camera or they have a mic in front of them, all of a sudden they tense up and they think, you know, I need to use my best English voice, or, you know, I need to be different to who I am every day. That's not really what works in front of camera. So we thought we'll have a session just to give you some tips of how you can be friends with the camera, be confident, be you, and we want to capture the best of your story, of who you are, and these are just simple tools, cameras and all of this to help us to do that.
This is not a test, it's a celebration of your story. So we want you to find a way to become really natural. They always haul me in to answer for all the atrocities and all the outrages happening on social media. So they'll ask me questions like, what's happening with mental health when people are using social media? How are people voting? Are they influenced by social media as opposed to traditional media? And should everybody be on TikTok, for example? So they'll bring me in for all kinds of questions and discussions and panel meetings and things. Actually, stories can help you really live, help you to exist, help you to confirm your identity, help to solidify the generations. And in a way, because everybody's just sitting in their little hole together by themselves, we're losing this as a culture.
There's many things that I don't agree with my brother on. There's that thing called sibling rivalry, but I have to give him his flowers when it comes to the job that he does. Most other things we don't even support. He's an Arsenal fan. Anybody with any sense does not support Arsenal. Man United is my team. But on his job and the sort of the hard work that he's put in, and particularly as I say during COVID, was quite heroic. So yeah, that's what inspired this project, and I think it's very important for my brother and all the carers of Scotland to record that particularly important moment in the life of this country. We don't get to tell positive stories of black people and black life in Scotland. The majority, 95% of stories about black people in the media are negative. When bad things happen to black people, the media is very quick to report on that. But when good things happen, they're very slow. And in fact, if they would have their way, they don't want to tell that story at all. And it is, I think, our responsibility to tell our own stories, to own our own narrative. Let's have a conversation like we used to have in Africa under the tree. That's really what this environment is hopefully going to remind you of. But I'll hand over to Andy.
Hi everyone, we're just going to go through some questions, so just feel free to shout out your answers and you can all butt in and just keep the conversation going. Obviously we've got one camera there and one camera behind, and Sandy's going to be moving around with the camera, so just ignore the camera, pretend it's not there. Try not to look in the camera basically. So yeah, we'll get started. So, first question I want to ask is, what do you guys like about living in Scotland? What's your favourite thing about living here?
I've never seen weather that is like Scotland, that sometimes in a day like this you see weather changing like 3 to 4, 5 times. It is sunny, in the next few minutes it becomes so I think I like it for that reason.
It's unpredictable, you never know what's going to happen.
Anyway, arriving in here, it was beautiful. Edinburgh is so amazing. Castles, it's fantastic. The snow is lovely. And then my colleagues said to me that can we come to Scotland, because they're in Belfast. Can we come to Scotland? And they stayed in my flat for 1 week. Because this country is very beautiful, and the culture, I love the culture. The scenery, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, I believe they are nice, and I love their water supply. I think they have the best, because I've heard from a lot of people that Scotland has an account to testify to that. So I think I love their water.
Yeah, 100%. I think Edinburgh water especially. Dubai is the best.
Yes.
Well, I love the food because somehow I get to eat curries, and I'm beginning to love taking curries, and the pies, like the Scotch pies, kebab pies and stuff. I'm so used to it now because apart from that, there are lovely people. And as you're walking around the street, you see people smiling at you. And the first time I came, that was one of the things that really captivated me was their smiles. And I'm like, why is she smiling? Like, but when I spoke to someone, it was like, yeah, it's just a way of respect to say, yeah, everything else is all right. It's a way of saying hi. Like in some places you go, someone will say to you, hello, hi, how are you? But they're not going to say hi. Probably they may not say hi, but the smiles is just representing that hi that they were supposed to say. So I think I love that.
It's too noisy. I so much like
it. Just like to thank everyone for the group discussion and how much of an impact we are all making in the Scottish community and environment. And while we're on that topic, I know a lot of you may have seen in the news of what's happened in Dundee. So we have lost a sister, we've lost a very impactful woman. She had just finalized her PhD, she was about to become a scientist, a doctor, someone that is adding to Scottish society. And I just want us to remember her and take today to remember not only what she was going to do, but remember her young child that witnessed everything that happened. And also while we're here, her name is Fortune Goma. We need to remember this name, we need to pass it on to people, we need to inform them that even though we don't know the circumstances of her death, please let it be on our heads today. Let it be on our heads as we go into our daily life, and let us carry our children with this. And as we're here, I'm gonna do like a protesty thing. When I say her name, I want everyone to say it again. So her name is Fortune Goma. Say her name.
Fortune Goma.
Say her name.
Fortune Goma.
May she rest in power.
What I'll get you to say first, my love, is just your name, your age, and your home country, where you come from.
Okay, my name is Victoria. I'm from Nigeria, and I'm 32 years.
My name is Jocelyn Abbott, but they usually call me Jaja. I'm more of a Jaja. They know Jaja rather than Jocelyn. I am 68 years old, and I've been working here for about 24 years now.
Zulika, 48, and I'm from Bermuda.
So my name is Victoria Wafer, and I'm 37 years old, and I'm from Nigeria.
Deborah from Greenock.
Hey, my name is Elisa Jerwan. Yeah, I'm 36 years old. Yeah.
Okay, my name is Israel Urumade. I'm 35 years of age, and I'm a Nigerian.
I'm Blessing, and I'm a Nigerian, and I'm 34.
My name is Precious Chikaja. I'm from Nigeria, and I'm 37 years old.
Okay, my name is Alimatu. I'm 40 years, and I come from Ghana.
I'm Amina from Ghana and 30 years of age.
I'm Charles. I'm 38 years from Nigeria.
So my name is Susan Taiwo Lorle. I'm 31. I'm from Nigeria, from the western part of Nigeria, in Africa, West Africa to be precise.
My name is Namdi. I'm from Nigeria and I'm 41.
My name is John Phillips, 28. I'm from Nigeria.
My name is Dan. I'm 30. I'm from Nigeria.
Okay, so my name is Benita Iradikunda. My country of origin is Kigali, Rwanda, KG baby, and I'm 30 years old.
I just want to ask who you care for and what a typical day looks like for you in the workplace.
Okay, so I care for a guy. He's a guy. That's a person I currently, work with. And my normal days, I plan for him.
Okay.
Because he's someone that has can't think for himself.
Okay.
He has ADHD, alcohol damage. So I plan his finance, and my day-to-day involve, going to the store to get things with him, going with him to the movies, anywhere he wants to go to. Sometimes I have to think of, things that he can do that will make him lively, So, yeah, those are the things that I do.
Well, I'm looking after the elderly, the vulnerable ones. Mm-hmm. Some of them has autism, some of them has Down syndrome. And the elderly and the frail, vulnerable ones, those who mostly are ones with the dementia, either whether it is mild or severe. That's who I like to work with.
Well, I care for the elderly, and a typical day is really a hectic day because we do a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of moving and handling, a lot of trying to settle down with the residents.
I've been caring for, I work with an agency, so I do a one-to-one care, and it has been good. So far, so good. It has been nice. My resident is cooperative.
Okay.
So she has been good.
Okay, so I do one-on-one support of one autistic child. Yeah. So it's actually not easy, right? You know how autism is. And when I get to work, you know, I just have to discover how the mood of that child is on that very day, because if the child is so angry, it's never easy, right? So it's just about discovering how that child functions. Sometimes you just have to look for a way to work for you, right? So going to work, you're just hopeful because you don't know what that day it's going to be. If the child is happy, it's so much fun, right? But if the child is sad or angry about anything, it's always so terrible. Yeah.
So I have my clients that I see. I have an office at home, so I have my sessions at home in my office online using Zoom. And generally, I deal with quite a few different sort of issues that people might face here. All of my clients actually would be Black, so I don't have anyone that's come to me from here. I don't know how to say that.
So are you saying all of your clients are from sort of a Black background?
Yes.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Love that.
Yeah, so generally it'll be anything, abuse, racism, anxiety, depression, issues in the workplace, issues in university and things like that, whatever their experiences are there.
What would you say is the most rewarding part of your job?
Honestly, the most rewarding part is that I think by default, I'm a nurturer.
Oh,
so
nice.
the fact that I like to put smile on people's face, you know, these guys, they are vulnerable. So I like the fact that I'm able to put a smile on their face. Actually, it might not be easy right from the onset, but, you know, in the process of building a relationship with them, it's always a long journey. But at the end of the day, I try to get to that place where we have like a personal relationship, where I'm able to make them laugh, you know. So the fact that I'm able to make them laugh from the stage of, you know, being irate at a point, then to that part where they're happy, is like a big deal for me. Like, okay, we've made an improvement from where we were to, you know, the present. So that kind of gave me joy.
The most rewarding part is if I look after that resident, the certain resident, or the lot of them, because in a unit there's like 13, if it is dementia, there's 19 or 20 residents in one unit. But what makes me feel good is when I've done my part and made my resident happy and perform those tasks that makes them clean and good smell, and they had the fluid and the medications, because I'm a nurse, right? I give the medications.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, apart from that, looking after them, which makes me feel satisfied, is like working with the carers and teaching them, keeping them right, encouraging them, mostly encouraging them. So that's when I go home and I've done all these things, and I said, thank God for that.
I would say being there to support them and help them through difficult situations, especially when I know that they don't have much support. For a lot of them, they're coming over here by themselves. And so they might be, some of them are working in care, some of them are students working in the medical field, and it's just them. And it's a sort of individualistic society here compared to where they're coming from. So the only support they sometimes have is calling back home and speaking to somebody, which isn't always that helpful. So being able to give them an outlet so they can talk about whatever happened, whoever treated them badly in university or at their job, and just see different experiences, their life experiences and everything, and just being a person there that can give them a safe space to discuss what's going on with them.
What is one thing you wish people in power understood about Black, minority and ethnic carers in Scotland?
I've been thinking about this thing for a very long time now, because I see everybody to be equal. It doesn't matter the color or the race. If what you can do, I can do, I think we are okay to be together. And then I just want them to understand we are not here to intimidate them or to do something or to take over their country or anything. We are one people. The way when they come to our country, we see them to be interesting people. We have fun when they are around us and everything. I think when they do the same to us, we'll be happy.
If you could speak to other Black, minority and ethnic carers across Scotland, what message would you give them?
The message I will give them is just the message of hope and perseverance, for them to have hope and keep doing what they do at their best interest. That's the message I will give to them.
Let's say, we're coming from a different part of the world. So, and back home, it's a kind of, you have this freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want to say, whenever you want to say it without fear or favor, right? But, coming down to this part of the country, you have to, even when you want to talk, you be like, okay, let me hold back a bit. What I'm about to say, you want to assess, you want to, figure out what you want to say. What I'm about to say is not going to put me in trouble or something like that, you get? Because you really, from my place, when you say sorry, it means a different thing. When you say sorry, it means a different thing. So because of that, you really want to be calm, understand what you're trying to say, understand the person you're trying to talk to, read the room, know what is happening. Hope I'm not going over the board. Hope I'm not going to overstep boundaries. So like that. But in my place of work, I love it because, we have different people from different backgrounds. So we value one another, right? We value one another. Even you can't really differentiate from the management, between the management and the staff, how we relate. If I don't know something, it doesn't cost me anything to walk to a younger colleague to say, please, do you know this? If the person is good in that aspect, he will definitely tell me. And that does not mean tomorrow you they talk to me rudely because of that. No. If my manager should know something, I can actually walk to her. She's a very friendly person. So she's open, you can talk to her at any point in time. She doesn't be like, oh no, you're Black, I would, no, something like that. So everybody has this freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and everyone is valued in that space. So that I can say.
Do you feel supported by the health and social care system in Scotland?
Sometimes I feel not supported. The reason why I say that, during allocation of jobs, when you go to work, sometimes they feel you are Black, so they try to say you can do the work, and they give you more work than the other ethnic groups. So instead of maybe you are supposed to you have about 20 jobs to do, you end up doing about 15, and there's no fairness in the allocation of jobs, which I'm not happy about.
100%.
So I think it's not fair, there's no fairness.
Have you ever sort of reported this kind of
Sometimes
unfairness?
when you report, you are not being heard. They said the job should be done, and that is all. You report, and it's like every day you are complaining. So you just sometimes keep it to yourself, because there is no change. Whether you report to the manager or not, there is nothing to be heard about. So you think sometimes you have to keep it to yourself.
Wow.
There is always a need for you to be appreciated. When you are appreciated, when you feel seen, you will have the spur to do more. When you are valued, you will have the strength to keep grinding. But when you see that nobody notices you, nobody notices what you do, the work you put out there, even as little as it may sound, thank you has a way to permeate. It goes a long way in lifting souls. You feel, oh, I'm being appreciated. There is need for me to do more. Maybe the next time you will not just get a thank you, but you get thank you very much. Something like that. So if you're valued, you have the strength, the drive to do more.
Yeah, sometimes that's what I would say, because I won't really bank on the negative aspect, because I feel that. But I feel that as a carer, we need more support. Trainings, support in like hearing me out in some situations and all of that. So, but like not taking sides.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to be concerned about well-being. Yeah, that's what I would say.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Because honestly, here, I believe that we, the Africans, are the ones doing this job. Most Scottish people, they are not really into the care system, because I believe in the senior aspect of the job, that's where they operate. But we interacting and being with the main service users. So I don't think that the Scottish people can do it the way we do it.
Yeah, I feel a bit of support, and sometimes it is crazy when everybody got to be on their toes to solve a particular problem, and there is no sufficient staff to do those things. So it makes me sometimes to overwork myself.
Okay, so I would like to encourage that carers should be treated the way their clients have been treated. Do you get me? So you have carers that they are not actually sound, like their mind is not, like they don't have peace of mind, like they are not happy deep down, and they're just struggling to just do the job. Do you get me? And that's what's going on. I would expect like probably the government or whoever is in charge, like probably the councils, to try as much as possible to intervene in situations like that. Try to carry them along. Do you get? Like, if it's very possible, a pay rise is not too much for the type of service they render. They deal with lives. They're as well as important as, they're just like the doctors, like the nurse, the teachers, and all of that. So they're quite important, so they should be treated as such.
And what would it mean to you to be a bit more seen and valued? What would that mean to you?
It will give me fulfillment that my work is being appreciated. So because once maybe you are doing something right and you are doing it right, and maybe someone compliments you about that, it gives you joy and fulfillment. So it will give me joy if I'm being seen or being valued in what I do.
I think when you are being heard, when you make a complaint and you are being heard, and at least there's a solution of whatever you are saying, then I think it will make me happy, and I'll feel like being welcome to the society or to the community where I work.
So with working in this industry, coming over to Scotland, have you ever felt overlooked, misunderstood or discriminated against in your caring role? And if you have, could you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Oh yeah, there was some time. My first year in here, I don't have to drop the names of the care home, but I worked there. I had my PIN number in that care home. And then 2 months and a half, and then I became a full-fledged nurse, had my PIN. And then we were transferred to another care home to work there, because that's what our contract is for 3 years. And during the first few months, I felt like I've been discriminated by the deputy.
Oh, really?
Because I went home to the Philippines, and because I just went home for a holiday, only for 3 weeks. We are only allowed 3 weeks. So having in the Philippines, my father get ill and he was hospitalized. So I have to extend my not holiday actually, my leave for another week. My manager phoned me through long distance to the Philippines, but I didn't answer because I was in the hospital. When I came back, I was reprimanded for that because they accused me of not telling the truth. I said, but my father was ill and he's in the hospital, but you have brothers. I said, yeah, but they have the family. I'm the only, I have my daughter, but she's already grown up. And they add me this in the office, and then they wanted to have a meeting with me for formally. So I have to phone my Unison. And then I need their help, and then they came to the office. And then he was fighting for me because that was my only few months in there. And I was so scared because I don't know the culture. I know nobody in this country. And then the representative from the Unison had reprimanded them, and they said that you threatened them, like, I don't know if it's a threat, but you tried to give a problem to this staff nurse, and we're going to report you to the Care Commission. And I will do that. That was the president of the Unison.
Yeah, so in that part, I've had few quite experience with that. So in terms of discrimination, not quite really, but overlooked, yes, because sometimes when they see you, they feel like, okay, what do you think you can offer? But sometimes I have my kind of way of trying to bring them to understanding that, see, I'm here to help you, and I'm not here to hurt, neither. And of course, me looking at them, I know they are going through some stuff. So the best thing for me is to understand their situation and then give them the much possible help I can.
Not my employer, but my clients.
Okay.
I have had that kind of experience before. And I will tell you that you need to, for you to, be a support person or a carer, you must have that tough skin. That even as a black person, that this kind of thing can happen. Most people are not used to saying black. So I've been discriminated against.
Yeah.
But I did not take it personal.
Okay.
You just need to know your identity, who you are, and I don't have a self-esteem issue. So if issue of discrimination should happen, which I know because I have that expectation that this thing is going to happen, right? So I'm fine, but I'm just hoping that the employee could put a check in place, whereby especially the black people are being talked to thoroughly, about this experience, giving them the support needed, because in as much as you think you have developed a tough skin to withstand this racism of it. I'm not blaming them. Some people are not just used to seeing black people. You should understand.
Yeah.
So, but I just feel the employee should take a step forward, to make the black carer or support feel more comfortable.
Sometimes I will say that because most times preferences are being attached to let me use this word, the whites than the blacks. I'm black, so what I say most times doesn't really count. You understand? So I would say sometimes it counts, but out of 100, I would say like 20%. So,
Really?
So more of that is needed, like let my voice be heard. That would make sense.
It's varied. So right now I work in justice, and I do kind of justice support work and justice care work. But I know that in the past, when I used to do like actual physical health care and disabled and dementia and old care living, my issue was that, yes, I'm black, but I'm British spoken. So with my accent comes benefits that our peers that you've interviewed today would never ever receive. And then it comes that benefit of like, well, it's not a benefit, it's actually an extra job. But it comes with that, like, because I'm British spoken and British accented, I'm the middle person between the oppressive white staff members and clients and the black people that are just there trying to make a living and make an honest wage at the end of the day. And I think a lot of times I found myself in a sticky situation where I would have to translate things and translate culture and languages and expectations based upon this white westernized society and people that have literally been in this country a month, if that, and that they're getting like fed or faced with all this prejudice and oh, you can't do this and you don't know this and you don't know whatever. But it's like, well, they've just come to the country. They don't have there's not a book or a manual that is given to them at the airport for them to understand. And I think that the hardest part of my role was that trying to find balance and justice within that, of being like, everyone needs to be treated fairly and these people are doing a job. They're not stupid because, as we've seen today, they're all really highly educated, but it's just that it's a cultural difference and it's a brand new world that they've entered in.
Amazing, love that. What kind of help would make the biggest difference to you right now within this industry?
I think if there was a union that was solely focused on black and brown workers, I think that would be the biggest thing that would help them and would actually be on their side, because it's one of those things of, you know what it's like growing up in Scotland. Racism is very covert and it's very hidden and it's very much that you have to question it and you have to kind of second guess it. Like, I remember that there was one time that I got to a job and they see me, face value, I'm black. Like, can't hide that, can't change that. I love it. So it was like they see me and they were like, oh, another black person. And then it was when I spoke, they were like, but, oh, you sound normal. And it was that, like, because of my British accent, I was celebrated in that room. And it was like, oh my God, you're normal, give me a hug. And I was like, but what is normal to you?
Yeah.
And like things like that I don't think anyone should have to go through. And it's kind of like, if you bring that up to management where you're told that, oh, but they have disabilities and they have this and they have whatever else. And yes, those are all protected characteristics, but what about my race and ethnicity? Because that in itself is a protected characteristic in this country and in this world. So I think that if we had more unions that focused on black and brown people, and like, I'm very big on for us, by us, of like, 100%. If we union together and bring a force together, they can't not protect us, because at the end of the day, all they're bringing us here to is wipe the bums of people they don't want to look after. Mm-hmm. And that's all we are to this country, is this little sponsorship to do a really low paid job, considering what we actually do in society and what we deal with in society. I think that we need to be possibly one of the most protected characteristics in the workplace, because someone might not know how to piss or shit, but they know that they don't like black people. And they might not know who their kids are, they might not even know who they are, and they might even forget who they are as a person, but they know that they don't like black people or brown people, or that they don't want a darkie to wipe their ass. And some people actually would rather sit in their feces than be dealt with a black person. So when are we gonna ever get protected? What have we got on our side?
This journey was not easy, from recruitment struggles to the backlash to the courage of carers speaking out. We have traveled far. Yet through it all, the voices of carers rose, voices that must be heard. This is our vision, and this is our dream. And so, we will end with the powerful words of Tilly, whose life's work has been caring for Scotland's elderly. Her voice carries the spirit of our dream.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Lovely to see you all. So my name is Oratile Litolo, but I use Tilly to make life easier for everyone. I mean, working in the care industry, I had to make it easy for everyone so, they don't mispronounce my name. It is both an honor and a challenge to stand before you today. I say it's a challenge because, like many of you, I've had to navigate the complexities and the struggles of being a black carer working in Scotland. I've faced racism, prejudice, and the quiet but constant fear of speaking out. A fear rooted in worry that my voice might not be heard, or worse, that it could cost me my job. Being a care worker is a calling, one that requires immense compassion, patience, and strength. We take care of the most vulnerable in our society, offering not just our skills, but our hearts. But the truth is, many of us have to summon an additional reservoir of strength just to get through the day. We deal with subtle slights, outright racism, and a system that too often overlooks our contribution while failing to protect our integrity. I have lived this reality. I know what it feels to walk into work every day with the hope that maybe today will be different. Maybe today I'll be seen for the dedication and the care I bring, not just the color of my skin. But too often, that hope is met with disappointment. And let's be honest, it's exhausting. What's even more exhausting is the silence that we feel compelled to maintain. We fear that if we speak out, we'll be labeled as troublemakers, or worse, risk our livelihood. This silence is not because our experiences are not valid, but because the weight of judgment and the potential consequences are too heavy. But I'm here today because I believe in the power of our voices, collectively and individually. Our experiences are not isolated. They are shared by many in this room and by countless others across the care sector. This shared experience is why it is so important that we begin to break the silence. We need to support one another, to lift each other up, and to create spaces where we can speak our truth without fear. I know it's not easy. It takes courage to confront these issues, and even more courage to demand change. But change is necessary. We must advocate for ourselves and for each other. We must push for a care sector that values every worker equally, that recognizes the additional burdens we carry, and that is committed to eradicating racism in all its forms. Yes. Today, I stand before you, not just as a care worker, but as a voice for those who have felt silenced. I want to encourage each of you to find your voice too, whether it's by speaking out in your workplaces, supporting your colleagues, or getting involved in efforts to bring about systematic change. Your voice matters. Our voice matters. Let's remind ourselves of our worth, of the critical role we play in society, and of the power we hold when we come together. We are more than just challenges we face. We are strong, resilient, and indispensable. Together, we can create a future where Black care workers are not just seen, but respected, valued, and heard. We owe it to ourselves, to those who come after us, and to the people we care for, to keep pushing for this change. Thank you.